Hello, TBR fans. Welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards in Buffalo. We got Gerry Schmidt in Nashville to catch up with on some shows he's seen. Gerry, what's going on?
How you doing there, Rob? I got
Good.
to see the Van Halen tribute band on Friday, Eruption, and Brad, the guitarist, was pretty amazing in the role of Eddie Van Halen. And then headlining that show was a wonderful band called Symptom of the Universe. And the lead vocalist in that band is a female Ozzy Osbourne, and she was just belting it out. Her name is Miranda Sky, and I'm looking forward to seeing some great things from her. In fact, Kenny Knight over there on the left, guitarist for Lost Circus, joined me for the show the other night.
Excellent. Yeah, we caught some of the video from them on our Facebook page, and it looked like it was a great show. So you kind of jumped the gun, but who do we have with us today from Nashville that we're going to be speaking with?
Well, tonight the circus is in town, and we have Steve Libby on vocals with Lost Circus, Brian Bloomer on guitars, and Kenny Knight on the other guitar, Ed Grant on bass, and Tom Gregory on drums. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So I just got to ask, where are you at tonight?
We're meeting in a conference room at my offices. Figured it would be easy to get us all together.
Yeah, good idea. So I just want to ask you guys how you came together to form Lost Circus. How did this collaboration come about?
Yeah, Kenny, how did this collaboration come about?
Put Kenny on the spot.
I thought I was going to answer this, but I'm throwing all the questions off to these guys.
Okay. I hope you all answer some questions.
Yeah.
Steve, Tom, and myself were in some tribute bands, so we knew each other previously. And Steve asked me if I would like to write some songs sometime, and naturally I said yes. So he said, I have the perfect drum. So he told me about Tom, would probably be interested. And so Steve and myself started hacking out some songs that we had bits and pieces of. And we needed, of course, we needed another guitar player. So Tom says, I have the perfect guy. Yeah. So he calls Brian. And so we started practicing right in our rehearsal studio in Murfreesboro.
And I got to play bass.
And Steve was on bass.
Oh, nice.
I was a great bass player.
And Steve's friend played bass with us a little while. And then Steve took over on bass until we found a permanent bass player. And Brian says, I have the perfect guy. But he didn't tell him. He didn't tell him.
Seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah. He didn't tell him. He just walked in one night with Chad. So, and I've known Chad quite a while. We've crossed paths many times in previous bands, played shows together here and there. And I knew Brian briefly just through him doing sound for bands and stuff like that. So never played with him before. But I knew he had credentials. So that's it. We holed up and started practicing.
Oddly enough, Brian and I have been looking for an opportunity to play together for a number of years. I've known Brian since '95. He was like 4 years old. So, and to Kenny's point, I knew his credentials. I knew he was a monster player and writer. And so it's funny how, to Kenny's point and Steve's point, it's like, I know a guy, and I went to Brian and I said, hey, we've finally, I think, have an original thing going on here that you're going to really be interested in. I sent him 2 or 3 of the songs. And he's like, dude, when can we get together? So, it grew from there. And then Brian brought Chad. And when Chad walked in that night at rehearsal, the 3 of us looked at each other like, holy shit. I hope he likes us. I hope they like me. So I
think my exact words were, things just got real.
Yeah, things are going to get really good, and it's been you know, you hear the adage that when the magic's there, things just happen, you know, virtually effortlessly.
Right.
And that's been the story for over a year now. That this lineup has been finally a cohesive unit of what is like a year this month or something.
Yeah.
So
the 5 of us.
yeah. So yeah, it's been magical, I think, for each of us, because we would all walk away after a writing session or rehearsal and just kind of looking at each other out of the corner of our eyes, and it's like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Well, it looks like you guys are a pretty tight group there. Now, Kenny said that he had some songs written with Steve. Have the other 3 guys chimed in and joined the songwriting process? How does the songwriting process work with Lost Circus? Is it a team effort, or does one guy come to the table and say that he has this and another guy says he has this? Or
it's kind of been a mixture. I mean, there's usually one person who has a genesis of an idea, but like I have some songs written on guitar that I had never been able to really fit in with anybody. I hand them off to Steve, and he has lyrics immediately. He's like, oh, I know what song this is going to be. And then, you know, Kenny be like, hey, I hear this part in there. Why don't we change this? So something, you know, that I had written and thought, okay, well, here's a song. Everybody added their bit to it, you know. And when I heard the initial songs that they gave me to see if I was interested, as soon as I heard them, I'm like, these are such well done songs and thoughtful lyrics. All I could see was how to embellish and paint around what was already there, you know. And then you take somebody with Chad's ability on bass, there's stuff that I don't even imagine in that realm that he adds that takes it to a whole nother level, you know. So it's really been all those different ingredients going in together. So even though a song might start out with 1 or 2 people, what comes out is probably not even recognizable to how it began.
Yeah, we have one song that we haven't recorded yet that our producer, Tom Harding, said, hey guys, you need to do this. And just one little thing totally changed the song for us. So it's everybody's, you know, all of us are involved.
It's a true collaboration for sure.
Right.
so you guys all play in different cover bands in Nashville. How difficult was it to transition from cover bands playing all original?
It was a thank God moment for me, quite frankly. I mean, no, there's something about because if you're really going to do a tribute band right, and you talked to Don Carr a few weeks ago, Steve and I are in a band with Don, the Iron Tribe, Iron Maiden tribute band. If you're going to do a tribute band justice, you've got to emulate and play the parts as the original members of that band would play them, right? Well, in my mind, I'm so worried about trying to play Nico McBrain's parts in Iron Tribe that, you know, it's, I don't want to say a distraction, but it's a different mindset. Whereas when you're creating original music and those parts are your own contribution to that creative piece of work, it's a bit more fulfilling. And the other thing is too, your audience doesn't know if you've screwed up or if you messed up.
Right.
You know, so
until they hear the record.
Until they listen to the record.
Guys, I really love the new record. Thanks for sending us, you know, the tracks and stuff. I think they were great. The mix sounded excellent on it. You know, just top notch. I really dug Broken Shadows, but you guys, She's a Fire is definitely the standout track.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think we all knew it was going to be the first single.
Yeah.
You know, so it's radio friendly, catchy.
It's kind of got a mix of all the things we do, all the guitar interplay, cool bass lines, the drums, the big vocals, everything. That song kind of encompasses a bit of everything, and I think it really was a good song to come out to represent us, you know, for people that knew nothing about us.
Yeah, definitely. So let's take a quick pause here, and we're gonna interject your video for She's a Fire so folks can check that out.
Sounds good.
All right, folks, we're back. That was She's a Fire from Lost Circus from their up and coming debut release album.
It's a good one. I want to talk a little bit more about She's a Fire. It sounds like it was written about a particular woman, and I've met some of your wives and girlfriends, very nice ladies, of course, and always enjoy talking to them at the shows. How influential and supportive are the women in your life in crafting Lost Circus music? It's like they're very, very active and out there by your side at the shows. So are they pretty supportive of this, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely. 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all are. I know Melissa, my wife, she's 100% behind everything we do. So she gives me, there's no leash. And
I met Melissa for the first time at the Jeff Tate show right before the pandemic.
Yep.
Exit in, and we had a blast that night.
Yeah, that was a great show. The last live show for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Sadly.
So is She's a Fire about anybody in particular, or?
When I write songs that are pro woman, because I write the lyrics, most of the lyrics, they're based off my relationship with my wife, just from, in and out of day-to-day life, how things happen. I love her. She's good people. And, but, women, they give you material, and you try to.
That's a really, really good way of putting that.
Luckily, this song it just came quick, it came fast.
We didn't want to put it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
That's basically when I write stuff. Not every song that we do is based on a person. So I used to write country music way back in the day, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you." And I was like, "Why?" Well, just the words to that song, somebody must have really broke your heart. And I said, "Oh, well."
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of the time, country music's got to be like real depressing or something. It seems.
To this style of music, to that style, but this stuff, there's a couple story songs that we do that have nothing to do with anything, and we just want people to take what they get out of it as from their own. Like Broken Shadows, I think is a healing type song as far as the lyrics go.
Yeah, I really love that song. When I heard that, I was like, this is a great track. I'm not sure why they're not pushing that one myself, but I thought it was awesome.
Be patient, young man. Be patient.
really, just all of it I've listened to so far, I've really enjoyed. I was trying to listen to it to see what influence you guys could have, because I was trying to see what other styles were kind of in there, but it kind of sounds unique. But who would you say kind of influences you guys?
First off, thank you for using that adjective, because we've had other people also ask us that question. Who are your influences? I hear a little bit of this, I hear a little bit of that. The fact that you just said that this is unique means the world.
Yeah, that's
yeah, well, like I said, I was trying to feel it out, you know what I mean? Because I listen to a lot of 80s music. I listen to some newer music, and a lot of times you try to kind of categorize a band or kind of get a feel for where they're at or who they were influenced by their songs. You can kind of tell, you know what I mean? But to me, it's got like kind of like an 80s feel to it, but it's got like a richer, newer sound too.
That's basically.
We owe a lot of that to our producer too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Tom Harding really pushed us to make something that was us, but also something that sounded modern.
Right.
The production's great on it. Yeah.
So 40 years of being friends and working on various music projects together. He and I used to produce bands back in the 80s, when the 80s were the 80s. Bands like Intruder, some other folks out of Nashville. We worked with Jason and the Scorchers.
You were in Triple X.
And I was in a band back then called Triple X. So we've known each other for a really long time. Same tastes in music, same passion for the type of music that you hear on the Lost Circus record. And fortunately, these guys all liked him too. So it was another one of those moments. I know a guy.
Yeah.
And so we brought Tom into rehearsal one night, and he sat there through the whole thing. And he's very sort of reserved in his opinions and that sort of thing. And we all left, and my phone starts blowing up, and he's like, "Holy shit, dude! You guys have really got something here. I'd love to work with you." And these guys are like, "I hope he wants to work with us." So,
Right. So when you guys started, who would you say was your musical influences then? If someone didn't influence the sound here, who do you say are each of your musical influences or people you've looked up to through the years?
Go start with Kenny.
Definitely Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley ruined my life. Ever since I was 10 years old, I've wanted to be an Ace Frehley. So a lot of my guitar style and writing is from that old Gibson Marshall. Ace Frehley 10 new.
exactly.
Yeah, we hear that story a lot. We hear that story for a lot of people about Ace. Yep. Huge influence. Yep.
That's one of our favorites too.
That he influenced.
Yeah. And later in years, it was Randy Rhoads, Zakk Wylde. You know, that's probably my biggest influences as far as, and I don't write music trying to sound like him, but it comes out. You can tell if you really dig into it.
Well, of course, you know all the KK Downing parts from Judas Priest as well.
I know some of them.
Wings.
And then you stood on stage at the Hard Rock right next to Richie Faulkner and played with him.
I got to play with Richie Faulkner, who is KK's replacement. So that was probably the highlight of my life.
That had to be amazing to have him come up there and share the stage with them, and I'm sure you got a chance to chat with him just for a minute too, probably.
I did. He asked me, "Who's going to play the solo to this song?" And I said, "You are."
Yeah, I remember that night. That was incredible.
It was very cool to have him up there.
Without a doubt. And it sounds like he's starting to get better as well. Judas Priest released the new concert tour dates.
And I might add, he's a really nice, cool guy for coming and doing that for us.
Yeah.
So
that was a fun night too, because again, I got to meet one of my heroes that night. Nico McBrain actually got up and played a couple songs with Iron Tribe that night. So I got to meet and speak with him for a little bit. And then probably my other biggest influence going way back is Tommy Aldridge. You know, and he's still out there doing it. He's been with Whitesnake for over 20 years now. But everything he did prior to that was just stellar in my book. And again, a super nice guy. I've had the opportunity to meet him and sit and chat with him, you know, for a little bit on occasion, and just super humble. But yeah, I every time I watch the guy, I learn something.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tommy Aldridge definitely, I don't think he definitely got his due, but he was definitely in some huge bands and definitely deserves that.
So I got to ask Kenny and Brian, how do you guys split up the guitar parts? How does the interplay work between the two of you? Is one of you lead and one of you solo, or lead and rhythm, or do you guys both take turns playing lead and rhythm?
Yeah, we just do, you know, whatever part needs covering, whatever part needs doing. I think, like especially with Kenny's songs, when he brings something in where, you know, he's created the main part of it, I kind of hear all the textures that go around it, you know, and we just kind of talk, you know, what does this need? Who needs to play what part? Because I'm really big on embellishing parts. I've always been attracted to textures like Queensryche, Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, all the way that, you know, Def Leppard put all their stuff together, where you're not necessarily hearing just one guitar, you're hearing the result of all the parts. And so for us, I think it's a matter of painting a picture of what really fits the song, whether we play the same part together to keep it tight and heavy, or if we split up to kind of make it, you know, more interesting. So, and then we trade off leads or do harmonies.
So you're doing a lot of multi-layer tracking for the guitars in the songs?
Well, yeah, but also part of the key is not playing the same thing all the time. Even just, splitting up octaves, or I might go up to a third, and play a different inversion of a chord. It creates the sonic illusion that there's a lot more happening than really is. But whatever it takes to make it sound right. Like even on some of the songs, I broke up some of the chords that I do rather than playing the whole chord. I actually broke it up and recorded a track for each note so that it sounds more like a keyboard at that point than an actual guitar. So, I mean, there's just all kinds of different techniques.
Yeah. Was this the first time in the studio for you guys as a unit?
Yes.
Yeah. It was funny. And this was February we did this this past year.
Started, yeah.
We went in the studio with the goal. We just moved in for a long weekend. The goal of getting 4 songs tracked. At the end of the first day, we had 5 songs tracked. And again, it was one of those deals where we all looked around at each other and it's like, well, do we just call it good or do we keep going? So we ended up tracking 9 songs. 8 of them we finished, and that's what's on this first record. Again, it's just that it's there's really not a way to explain it. Explain it, Chad. It's that magic thing,
Did you guys have a producer in place, or did the studio hook you up with someone, or how did that come about?
No, Tom Harding really helped put all that whole deal together. He talked with Robin we tracked all the stuff at Dark Horse Studios out in Franklin, where Megadeth had done some work out there, and some others, Korn, and
that's a really quick process you were going through. It can take you a couple of days just to go through like 1 or 2 songs and track it sometimes. So that's pretty impressive.
It was fun.
It was a good time. I mean, when I say we moved in, we literally showed up in the morning and we had each gone like to the grocery store and the adult beverage store.
And it was really bad weather.
And then the weather turned to crap. It snowed and ice and all that. So we basically stayed for the weekend and made very good use of the time and facility. So
this must have been last February.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Valentine's Day weekend. All these clowns have wives and girlfriends. I was like, yep, I'm up. Let's go.
So you guys all caught a little bit of hell, I'm sure, huh?
No. They're all supportive.
Yeah, really
nice.
Snowing, so I had to sleep at Steve's house. So he and Melissa treated me really nicely and fed me. And
cost us 3 new sheets.
Okay.
So I understand you want to make your live production a full visual experience. What size stage or building will you require for your set design and theatrics?
Madison Square Garden.
Go big or go home, right?
Big already, yeah.
We're going to scale it, but we're going to start out with the building from the full production, and then figure out how to pare things down if we needed to play on a certain size stage to make it work. I mean, the good thing is that we feel great about the songs, and so all the other stuff is just going to be wax on the Lamborghini. It's like we've already got what we really feel strong about and something that we enjoy playing. So all this other stuff is going to be to enhance it. Kind of like if Shakespeare wrote a good story, the play and the costumes and the set, that just enhances a good story, and that's what we want to do, is to take songs that, that we all enjoy and hope, a few other people enjoy as well, and make it that much more of an experience.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are missing out on nowadays and don't realize, and bands are getting back to doing, and obviously older bands have been doing that for a long time, is you want to create that experience, right? You want to have some production value to the show. You want to have some cool stuff on stage, some props or some extras or something like that to make it a memorable experience to know, and they'll think back, years later when they saw you, you did this or did that. I know I think back to a lot of shows I saw. So that sounds great.
We're going that way. GWAR. Look them up.
I'm out.
I wasn't talking that hardcore. I was thinking like Ozzy's stage sets maybe, or Kiss's stage sets were always really very cool, you know.
Well, you know, another advantage that we have in having Brian in the band is that Brian's worked with Alice Cooper for a number of years, and then Chuck's band, Bisto Blanco, and they are entertainers. You know, I mean, it's great songs, but there's production that goes along with it.
Oh yeah. Alice pretty much set the standard, but everything else is measured by. He was the pioneer, definitely.
So the spirit of that is what we want to be able to bring to an audience.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So what would be a good sized venue in Nashville for that sort of thing?
You know, we've looked at places like maybe Brooklyn Bowl, you know, something that has a physical elevated stage and a proscenium and, you know, a focal point.
His drums are huge.
Yes, they are.
As sad as, or as, I don't mean to sound condescending, but we're not going to be a bar band. You know, we're not going to show up and have to muscle everything onto a 10 by 10 square, you know, with an old rug on it somewhere and play our songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that.
And there's a place for all of that. And we all do that in other bands with stuff. But it's like for this, what we'd like to do is a show. Right. You know, it's going to be a production. It's not going to be, oh my gosh, we have to go play wherever offers us the chance to play. And we'd love to play anywhere we can, but in order to have the show and actually be able to present that, we need to be able to, you know, make different accommodations work. And that's why we're going to have to scale the show. But we definitely, in our mind, we would love to have the big show as much as possible.
Excellent. And I guess the album actually officially gets released on the 17th, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys have any dates yet for any shows lined up as of yet, or no?
Nothing current.
No. Yeah, we're looking to book in 22, probably February, March. So we still got a little bit of construction to do and just rehearsing the live show. And of course, right now with all the holidays, it kind of throws things into, you know, kind of an odd schedule. But once we pick up in the new year, then we can get back to really honing it in.
And you guys have been getting some airplay already with the new single, right?
Yes. Yeah, our radio pusher here has been to all kinds of people, and we've gotten a really good reception, which we're really grateful for. And you know, like I said, we've been so excited about this for over a year because we knew what we had, and we're like, wait, we would enjoy this as fans. So we're hoping that a few other people will as well. And so far, we've gotten a really positive reaction.
So where else has the single been played besides the Buzz in Nashville? Any other cities around the country?
Canada.
Yeah, Boston. Boston Rocks Radio is playing us pretty regular. He actually, I gave carte blanche to whoever I sent the email to, and you know, gave them that Dropbox link to the entire album. So you know, while we're absolutely pushing "She's a Fire" as a single, if somebody hears something on the album and wants to go ahead and play it, by all means, go for it.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of it, and I liked a lot of it, definitely. You know, I'm keeping it to myself. We're not going to share it until you guys release it, obviously. You know, but
Sleaze Rock is on.
Yeah, Sleaze Rock. They actually put a link to the video for the lyric video for "She's a Fire" on their website.
Really helped.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I was in contact with them a while back. Actually, I love that site. They have great stuff on there all the time.
Yeah, I sent them a thank you email just because I looked at our YouTube stats, and almost 55-60% of our traffic on that song came from their website. So,
oh, terrific.
Yeah.
The thing that's nutty though is to see responses and see that we're in rotation in Australia,
right,
and New Zealand, Italy, and Denmark, and Canada.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it is such a different universe now than it was in the 80s. You know, that once it's on the interwebs, anybody can get access to it.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy to have such an immediate sort of global response. It was mind blowing.
It's kind of taken away the power of some of the, gatekeepers, as it were, and like the record companies and all that. They decided who was going to be out there. With this, if somebody hears something they like, it doesn't matter if it was produced in a bedroom or a multi-million-dollar studio. If they like it, they like it, and they want
Right.
to
Right.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, you used to have to kind of wait for the radio stations to get airplay and see what markets your record company thought you would work in and stuff. Yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah. And
Well,
thanks
we've been
guys
talking.
that are taking the
Go
time
ahead.
to talk to 5 Goombas like us. It's huge, and we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, certainly I'm good friends with you guys. Well, at least 3 of you I see on a regular basis in Iron Tribe and Alice Unleashed and Sad Wings. So 3 or 4 of you.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you guys get out there and play locally, and I always take the time to chat with you, either at Bowie's or the Hard Rock or wherever you may be. So you guys are definitely very likable guys, so that makes it easy for us too.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I understand Brian has some great stories from the road touring with Alice Cooper and such. Can you share some of those stories with us?
Well, between Alice and Bisto Blanco and going up to New York with Accept this weekend and toured with Stryper. I mean, there's just been so many great times. I mean, nothing particularly crazy, but the biggest compliment I got was one time working technically with the Alice crew when they started a tour. I had helped them with some, doing some technical advising for them on the guitar stuff. And after the show, I asked Alice, well, how was it? And he looked at me and he goes, you know what? He goes, I really enjoyed it. He said, that was the first time I've ever gone through the whole show and kept my in-ears in because I actually enjoyed what I was hearing. That compliment from, your idol, it was just huge for me. And he's always been very accommodating, and, he's just the greatest guy, super friendly and no ego whatsoever. So there's just been so many great times,
Yeah, he has such a reputation for being that likable guy, for giving guitar players breaks and having them break their careers. And it's been noted, it's been said, it's been great having you in my band. You're going to go do your solo thing now. Good luck to you, and it's happened a couple of times with people for him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he has sent out, with his blessing, so many people that have gone on. Kerry Kelly's playing in Night Ranger, and I mean, it's just Damon Johnson. He was doing Brother Kane before, but he wound up going over to Thin Lizzy, and now he's doing his own stuff. It's just, there's all kinds of people: Vinnie Moore, Kip Winger, Paul Taylor, Eric Singer. I mean, the list goes on and on. People that have been through his band.
Yeah, I was just wondering how long he's going to hold on to Anita Strauss before she skyrockets out, because that looks like that's on the horizon.
Yeah, she's quite a player.
Yeah. So yeah, he is the Godfather. I mean, he really is. His blessing takes people places. So.
Oh, absolutely. I got to see him a few weeks ago. Well, maybe a couple of months ago now, over there at a Sunday Theater.
Yeah.
And, watched him from the second row. It was pretty incredible.
And he still loves doing it. He's not just doing it to do it. He really loves doing it, and you can tell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He wasn't just going through the motions.
Right.
So when can we expect you guys to play Nashville?
Hopefully by March. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Will we get the first show in Nashville before any other cities?
Yeah, that because with building everything here, our first show, without going into too much detail, will have to be something where we can set it up, build it, rehearse, and then do the presentation. Because that's going to make it a lot easier rather than just trying to, drive into somewhere and throw it all together the first time. Yeah. We want to have the time to put it together, rehearse in that location, and then do the presentation. So it may just have to be a private venue as opposed to like a club, that needs to make money and turn bands over, and they can't afford to do that. But yeah, so the first show, we're going to pick a location that we can actually camp in for a little bit to get it all up and running without the pressure of, throwing it down, doing it, and tearing it apart.
Yeah. And hopefully they can showcase you a little bit there and maybe get some folks to check you out to see who they could tie you up with maybe for a tour or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some other things in the works, video-wise, that I'm not going to say too much about at the moment, but some really cool opportunities that have presented themselves. And so yeah, once it hits, I think there's going to be a lot of things at one time. So
yeah, and probably the first of the year, my solo project will be starting. So
well, we hope you guys will continue to check in with us when you have new updates and new things coming on or new videos. We'd love to present those and check out what's going on with you for sure.
Jerry is the man about town there. He's going to get first scoop on everything.
Gerry and
Well, I
I,
certainly appreciate that.
we've become pretty good concert buddies, so
Oh, absolutely.
Gerry
In
will
fact,
know.
we saw Sebastian Bach over at the Brooklyn Bowl a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And some merch.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. So again, December 17th.
Right.
The debut album from Lost Circus will be coming out, folks. You want to check this out. The current song that is out right now, She's a Fire, you can check that out. There's a video for that on their YouTube channel as well. And if they want to know more about you folks, where should they check you out? On Facebook, or do you have a website?
Yeah, we're everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all Lost Circus US, lostcircusofficial.com. And then the music, the single is already available, of course, and everything will be available pretty much anywhere you stream music: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Google Play, whatever it is you like to listen to, it'll be there.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we look forward to the complete release. Whatever follow-ups you guys got going on, your new projects. Keep Gerry in the loop, keep us in the loop. Let us know about your new videos and stuff. And when you guys get picked up, I'm sure you're going to get picked up for a tour pretty quickly. I don't, you guys already have the connections.
Yeah, it's only going to get bigger and better from there, in my opinion.
Well, it better now that you've said that.
Well, you can't argue with the music.
So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's,
Exactly.
It's a breath of fresh air, I'll tell you. It's just originals that sound that good are hard to find when it comes to the rock genre. So just keep it up. You guys are doing all the right things.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
man.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with us, guys. And if you folks out there want to hear more from us, or you have comments or feedback, please feel free to email us at talkingboutrock@gmail.com. Please like us and follow us on Facebook, and check out our YouTube channel for this and other interviews coming up.
Lost Circus, check them out from Nashville, Tennessee.
Definitely.
Joining
Thank you
us
guys
today.
so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Rock and roll.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll let you know when we break up next month.
Oh, man. Let's hope no Jakes. All right, guys. Have a good night, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Good night.